This is session 1 of your traffic generation and SEO training. This is the 24-hour traffic plan where you're going to discover how to drive traffic within 24 hours to your website. So inside the 24-hour traffic plan, the very first step that you need to do is choose a targeted buyer keyword phrase. And so what you do is I use the Google AdWords keyword tool, and I'm going to show you that in the next video, where we basically go through and step by step help you identify a keyword phrase inside of your niche that people are looking for. Now, if you own a small business and maybe you are a chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for example, your targeted keyword phrase would be Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors, or it might be Tulsa chiropractors or something of that nature, because that's what people are most likely going to look for to find your business. If you are selling weight loss information, your targeted keyword is not going to be a narrow keyword like weight loss. It's going to be a focus keyword. So it might be something like weight loss diet information, because if they're typing in that kind of keyword phrase, there's not as many searches, but they're a very targeted buyer. Like if somebody's typing in weight loss diet information, they want to buy information. They want to find information on weight loss diet, so they might buy information if you offer. They might opt into your list. And let's say that you are a let's just say you are a lawyer in Chicago, Illinois. Your targeted keyword phrase would be Chicago, Illinois lawyer, or it's you happen to be a church in Stillwater, Oklahoma. It might be Stillwater, Oklahoma church, churches Oklahoma, churches Stillwater, Stillwater churches. That would be your targeted keyword phrase. And so the main focus here is to narrow down on a targeted buyer keyword phrase that's related to your niche. And I'm going to show you on the screen how to do that, but you can use the AdWords keyword tool. It's ADWORDS, AdWords keyword tool, and you just type in the root domain name. So for example, you are like a business in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you might say Tulsa chiropractors, and see what kind of keyword options come up that way. And so that's the first step, because once you have this keyword, this is the keyword that you're going to target in this 24-hour plan, and you want it to be a keyword that has some search volume. And the AdWords keyword tool will identify different keyword phrases that have search volume, so you see ones that can potentially drive you traffic. And keep in mind as you go through the steps and this process that you can implement this as many times as you want on the same website and get great results. So you can keep going through this step for a different focus keyword phrase, for example. So the first step, after you've identified the keyword phrase, the very next step is to go ahead and submit your website to social bookmarking websites using www.onlywire.com and www.socialmarking.com. Now, what's onlywire.com and socialmarking.com is those are places that have information and links to websites where you can access social bookmarking websites. Now, social bookmarking site, if you're not aware, is a site basically that's set up with the sole purpose of allowing people to share links with each other. And people will go to social bookmarking sites and they will share stories and say, I like this story, so I'm gonna submit it to this site and see if other people like it. And sites like dig.com, reddit.com, mix.com, those are huge social bookmarking type websites that people are using. It's social bookmarking because there's a large audience of people using it. Well, these traffics are high authority sites. They have tons of traffic, and the search engines will actually rank the individual bookmarked pages, meaning that if you submit a link on there, it will actually submit your link on an internal page. And so that's what the power of social bookmarking websites is. And using a tool called onlywire.com, it will automatically submit your website to about 20 social bookmarking websites at one time. And so I'm going to show you how to set up that account at onlywire.com in in an upcoming video here. And the same thing, socialmarketing.com, it's similar to OnlyWire. OnlyWire does it automatically. Social marketing kind of helps automate the process though, to where it gives you a list of an additional set of social book marketing websites to consider, of quite a bit more than the 20 OnlyWire covers. So you find more sites that you could submit your business to, and it will actually bring up a list where if you just click on the name of the website, and it will actually pre-fill the forms for the social bookmarking. And because when you're doing social bookmarking, the forms typically will ask for the title of the story, which is going to be your main keyword phrase. So that's very important. When I say submit it, you want to submit your main keyword phrase in the title. Next, you want to have your description, and inside the description, you want to try to incorporate your keyword phrase where it makes sense, and put a 1 or 2 sentence that entices people to go to your website or offer. So, as an example here, we're just going to stick with the Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors example. If you were to say, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors, and you were going to use that as your keyword phrase, so you would create a story called Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors. If that was your website, that's what you would submit, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractors, and you would say, get your spine aligned with this powerful, with this recognized whatever, Tulsa, Oklahoma chiropractor, as an example. And so that's what how you're going to submit to these social sites. And then they ask, usually after you've done your title and your description, they'll ask for a link. So you just plug in your link, and then if they ask for tags, it will plug in the tags. Well, the great thing with these two tools is they will automate this process. Now, the first time you do this, I'm going to warn you, it will take some time because you have to go in and set up these accounts. There's about 20 social bookmarking sites with onlywire.com that you'll want to set up, and there's like 50 or so sites with social marketing. Now, you don't need to set up all the accounts with socialmarketing.com if you don't want to, but you will want to at least set up the ones on OnlyWire, because that one will automatically do the submissions, and I'll show you how to utilize that, because that's a very powerful tool. And so in this step, once you've chosen your targeted buyer keyword phrase, and obviously you have your website ready to go so it can get traffic, you are going to go to onlywire.com, and after you've set up your account, you will go ahead and bookmark your site, at least all the sites on onlywire.com. That'll get you out there to about 15 to 20 or so websites on high traffic sites, and that's going to start the ball rolling and getting you some traffic. And that's also going to help the search engines possibly go and see if you change things on your site, or sometimes it will help them pick up your site if it's brand new, using this step alone, and that will help you get your site indexed faster, which means it comes up faster and higher in the search engines. The next thing you're going to do is ping your website using pingomatic.com. So you're going to go to www.pingomatic.com, and it's going to ask you to insert your blog. And if you're actually doing just a standard HTML website, it would just be your main URL. So if it's just a squeeze page, for example, it would just be your main URL that you are sending them to. And for those who aren't aware, squeeze page is a form where you have it set up to squeeze information out of people. So you're gathering names and emails, and that's an important strategy. So let's say again that you have a physical, an offline business or even an online business. You set up your website. You're going to go to www.pingomatic.com, and you will just follow their little basic steps, fill in their form, put in your URL where it says blog information, and then you're off to the races. Now, you can skip this step if you are actually using WordPress, because by default WordPress will do a ping to Pingomatic. And what Pingomatic does is it helps the search engines pick up all of the pages of help search engine pick up your site and help start the process of picking up pages of content within your website. And so that's important because you want your site to be found within the search engines, and pinging will help do that sometimes. And it also just kind of helps notify other directories that you have done something with your blog, and potentially you can get some traffic that way. But at least the most important factor I've seen is that it can assist in getting your site indexed. The next thing you're going to do is go to www.blogger.com, and you're going to create a blog and link to your website inside the first post on that blog. So for this step, you go to blogger.com and you set up your account, and to set up your account you just use your Google account information. And so you're just going to go ahead and set up your blogger.com account. If you already have Google Analytics, Google AdSense, Google AdWords, Google Gmail, any kind of Google account, you already have what you need to sign up for Blogger.com. And if you don't, you can just set up your own Google account, and they will step you through the process of getting set up with Blogger. And so once you're set up, you just follow the instructions to get your blog set up. And again, we're going to have a video showing you how to set this up properly. But during that process, you're going to be asked to name your blog. And it's very important that you name your blog or blog the main keyword phrase, in the .blogspot.com, because that's how it's going to come up. It's going to ask you for what name you want to use. So for this example, I would use Tulsa, Oklahoma Chiropractors .blogspot.com, because Tulsa, Oklahoma Chiropractors is my main keyword phrase. So it'd be Tulsa, Oklahoma Chiropractors, all run together, .blogspot.com, and you'll see that on that form when you're filling it out. Now, in the title of your blog, you obviously again use your keyword phrase where it's going to ask you to name your blog or title your blog. You put in your main keyword phrase there, and what that's going to accomplish for you is it's get your keyword phrase in the right spot so the search engines can pick up your blog or blog, and it also helps basically tell the search engines that the content on that site is going to be relevant for that topic, and that will not only help that site come up in the search engines, but it also is going to help give that link that you're going to be sending to your website, because inside that first post on your blog or blog, which all it needs to be is a short article of about 250 words talking about your niche, your keyword phrase. So obviously if you're a chiropractor, you might tell a little bit story about Tulsa, Oklahoma Chiropractors. If you are a lawyer in Chicago, you might write some information about being a lawyer in Chicago, and whatever the case might be, you can put that information in your first post. And inside that first post, you want to send a link over to your website inside that blogger.com blog post. Now the next thing you're going to do is, once you've created your first blogger.com blog post, you're going to open up the Blogger blog after you reviewed it and make sure everything looks good. You're going to go ahead and look at the bottom of your Blogger blog for something called Post Atom, and it's called Posts Atom, and you're actually going to click on that, and it's going to bring up what's called an RSS feed. Now RSS stands for Real Simple Syndication, and it's just basically a way for you to syndicate your content out there to a variety of different websites at once. And you're going to choose the choose the Post Atoms, and then what you're going to do is submit them to these two sites that I have up here. One's called feedag.com, and another one is called feedbase.net.